Welcome back to GAA Fan TV. This is the instant match reaction as Armagh draw with Monaghan at the Athletic Grounds. It finishes 1-7 to 10 points in the end in a game where Monaghan truly and without doubt left this game behind them, in my opinion. This game was there for the taking for them. This is a point dropped without doubt from a point of view of Monaghan. They're definitely the team that needed the points more, obviously, with the fact that Armagh won the opening 2 games in the Allianz National Football League. And given the fact that Monaghan are probably most likely going to be down there battling relegation, this was definitely a game that they probably would have felt like, given the way the game went, I feel like it was definitely there for them. It really, really was. Look, going to the Athletic Grounds and getting a victory, it's always a tough place to do. It's always a tough place to go. And given the form that Armagh have been in, maybe the result isn't too bad in the end. But in terms of the performance, really, I feel like Monaghan should have won this game without doubt. In the first half, they were by far the better side. I don't think they were playing like they definitely still have another level to go up on. They were missing a lot of chances, put a lot of opportunities wide from the likes of Conor McManus, Rory Woods, the likes of Jack McCarron as well. Like just a couple of times really where their opportunities in front of goal just weren't, or Andrew Woods, I should say, weren't quite there. And look, Armagh struggled definitely in the first half. I think it was fairly evident to see that the pressure that Monaghan put on Armagh from their own kick out was really the big factor in this game. Armagh couldn't play out at all from their own kick outs. You were looking at it and thinking Blaine Hughes just has to go long there, but whether it looked like there was quite a heavy breeze, so maybe that was the reason for that. And obviously, there's not too many goalkeepers that can kick over that press. Stephen Cluxton was famous for doing it. Rory Beggan is obviously famous for doing it as well. So it was really tough for Armagh in the first half to really they couldn't really get on the ball at all, and they just kept getting turned over time and time again. And whether it was Darren Hughes in there, Noel Kearns before he went off injured, and Kieran Hughes coming on, they were struggling, Armagh. They really were. They were struggling to win any primary possession in their own half of the pitch. Struggling around the middle, couldn't really get the ball up to Rian O'Neill, couldn't really create much at all. And Monaghan were fantastic at turning the ball over, and they were playing really, really well. But again, they couldn't take their opportunities either, even though they led by 4 points at half time. It really should have been more. They had 10 wides in the first half. At times just going for ridiculous opportunities. And one stage, Jack McCarron had it down near by the sideline and way out on the left-hand side of the pitch, and you're thinking just recycle possession there, wait for the right opportunity, and they didn't do so at all, just wasting the chance of giving it back to Armagh. And Monaghan really could have went in at half-time, maybe 7, 8, 9 points in front, because Armagh certainly didn't get going. And you were always thinking, look, Armagh have been brilliant in the opening 2 league games, and I said it obviously in the preview, it's one of them things where they've got 4 points on the board. Relegation, very, very unlikely. I mean, definitely not going to happen now with 5 points on the board with still another, 4 games to go. But, that worry's obviously gone. There might be a slight drop-off in performances. Armagh are probably going to come up against some teams, the likes of your Kildares, for example, who will probably need points more than them, and they'll probably, be at an extra 5 to 10% than Armagh. And I think that was probably a little bit evident in the opening half, where Monaghan probably targeted this game and said, look, we need to get some points on the board. We need to get a victory on the board. And this could be a game where we could do so and maybe catch Armagh cold in very tough wintry conditions. And in the first half, that definitely paved the way. Sharon Hegarty says, fair play to Monaghan staying with Armagh. Conor McManus sent off. And yeah, I mean, that was the big turning point in many ways. I mean, it didn't happen. The change in play really didn't happen. Actually, it wasn't really until Monaghan went down to 13 men that Armagh really started to actually turn the tide, when Desi Ward got black carded as well. But yeah, look, obviously with the replays, it's a bit inconclusive. You can't really tell if it's a clear red card. But what I would say is the umpires are, just a matter of meters away from it there. And you hear some other rumors online on Twitter, this happened and this happened, and McManus was striking back after something that happened to him. Don't know, didn't see that, in all honesty. And you have to trust the umpires there, because that's what their job is to do in those situations, is to spot those kind of things happen. It was pretty decisive, quick red card. I think it's the right decision. I think you have to trust the umpires there. And obviously Desi Ward gets a black card as well. And Armagh just started to turn them over, started to win a lot more ball. And obviously Oisin O'Neill came on, made a bit of a difference, kicked a brilliant point. Tiernan Kelly, I thought was brilliant, arguably man of the match. Second half he was brilliant. First half, I remember he kicked an absolute wonder ball at one stage from about 60 yards. Micheál Bannigan though was brilliant from a Monaghan point of view, and we'll actually just throw some of the scores on screen there from a Monaghan point of view there. So you'll see there Jack McCarron with 2 points, Shane Carey with a point, Micheál Bannigan and Ryan McInnesby on the score sheet there as well. Conor McManus with 4 points. Obviously wasn't playing at wing back. This is off the Score BO app here. Lavelle in there with a point as well. So, Monaghan had a fair amount of options, and I thought McManus was probably the best player on the pitch until his red card. Kicked some absolutely brilliant scores. And probably took a bit of time to settle into the game. But once he did, you seen two absolute pearlers right before the end of the first half. It was absolutely brilliant stuff. And just from an Armagh point of view here, you see Rian O'Neill with 2 points, who obviously went off just before half time with an injury, came back on as well. Jason Duffy with a point, Tiernan Kelly with a point as well, and a couple of notable Armagh scores coming off the bench. Conor Turbo with 1-1, Stephen Campbell with a point, and Oisin O'Neill with a point as well. So the bench definitely making an impact there from an Armagh point of view, and that was definitely decisive in them turning the game around and getting the draw, nearly getting the victory in the end. They nearly turned it around, but you just have to say, like, Monaghan are, although they played well, and look, they'll take a lot of positives from some of their performance in terms of how they troubled Armagh and how they pressed up on their kickouts, and physically they matched up brilliantly against them. In the midfield, they were brilliant as well. But I think they'll be absolutely kicking themselves that they didn't win this game. I mean, architects of their own downfall in many ways. Even when they were down to 14 men, they were still 5 points up. They were still comfortable and just missing opportunities really to put the game to bed. And, if they had put the game to bed, there would have been not much of a chance for Armagh really to come back late on. And they even had the joy of Armagh missing a penalty. How many chances do you need? How many opportunities do you need? And look, they kicked a late point in the end. Brilliant point from Jack McCarron there. And obviously, you were looking at them on the telly, nearly screaming at the telly, asking someone to go for an opportunity, really, when they had possession for what was about 4 minutes of injury time there. And in a similar fashion to almost when Derry played Donegal last year, they didn't take the opportunity or didn't work anything or take a risk. You're almost wondering, could Rory Beggan come up there and maybe try something? But look, it wasn't meant to be. It ends in a draw. Both teams I think Monaghan will be massively disappointed, as I said. I think Armagh will be content enough for the point, puts them on their way, keeps them in the top two probably for this evening. So we'll see what happens there. But we'll go ahead and wrap this up here. Do leave a like and subscribe if you could. The Dublin and Mayo live watch along stream is going to be happening in just a few minutes time. So stay tuned for that. The stream's already up there in the channel. So if you want to join me over there, you can. And I'll see you all later. Armagh and Monaghan play out a draw 1-7 to 10.